called the elevation. The azimuth within GPS goes from 0 degrees north to 90 degrees east, 180 degrees south to 270 degrees west. So it goes from 0 to 360. So pick 3 satellites and give me the elevation angle and its azimuth. Well, I figure out what we're going to do next.
On the altitude, did you want us to write it in feet or meters?
Doesn't matter. Oh, you can cross out meters and everything. Now, so that question would be, if you wanted it in meters, how would you do that? Well, you go into menu setup. So we're just gonna play it. When everybody's done here, we're gonna change our units and see how to do that.
So you were saying, like, when you pick a satellite to find the elevation,
yes, sir.
If I were to pick satellite number 8,
correct.
How would I go about?
Well, I'd say the middle is 90. That line is 60. So it might be a little bit inside that line. So it might be 65 or something like that. And now its azimuth is 0, 90, 180, 270. It's off in that direction. 270, it's about a third, so it's about 300 degrees.
So the azimuth at 300?
The azimuth would be 300. The elevation would be about 65.
Where do you get 65?
Okay, so the center is 90. This outside circle is 60, and the outside circle is 30.
30, 60, 30. Okay.
So when I choose like 11.
11, right?
You go. Wouldn't that be 90? That'd be close to 90.
Yep.
So you'd say probably about, I guess, 80.
Pick that up?
Yes.
And then you go.
So facing north, so let's say 19.
180.
That's average. East, straight east is 45.
Okay, so
No.
we're number 11?
Yeah, it is.
So
No,
that's
90
0.
degrees.
And then it's
So 19 basically 45.
and almost 180 south.
So you could say 160.
160.
40. It's fine.
Okay,
And then as far as
now I gave you
elevation,
the
that
dimensions
inner
or
ring
the
is
angles
30. No, the inner
90,
ring's 60 and the outer
60,
ring's 30.
30. I'm
Straight
making
up
that
is 90
up.
degrees.
I don't know
60
exactly
and then
if
30.
that's the case.
That
It
makes
could
sense.
be 90,
As far as
45,
distance,
0.
So that's 60.
But
Elevation.
what it's doing is it's allowing you to see where those are. Now, how would I check that? I would output the GSV string. Take a picture of this, find out what time it was taken, output the GSV string, which would give me the exact azimuth and altitude for each of the satellites I'm seeing and compare it to the screen. Okay, now the question, Jessica's question was, well, how do I figure out my elevation in feet? And what if I wanted my latitude in decimal degrees? Well, that's relatively easy. Doesn't mean I can do it, but it's menu, and then go down to setup, hit enter, and then go down to units. Ah, that makes sense to me. Scroll over to units, hit enter, and now my position format is heading degrees, minutes, and decimal minutes. So I'm going to hit enter there, and I'm going to change it to move up to decimal degrees. All right, that's nice. And I'm going to hit enter, change it to everything decimal degrees, and then I want to go down to distance and speed. It says statute, which is feet. If I wanted meters, I hit enter and go down to metric. Enter. Okay? So let's say I've done all that. Now I'm going to hit, before we move on, I'm assuming everybody's map datum is WGS84. That's World Geodetic System 1984. There's a variety of different datums. You'll learn that when we get into GIS. Probably not for me. Okay, so I'm going to quit out of this.
Did you get a map with the datum? Map?
No, I saw the datum right between the coordinate and the distance and heading. There you go. It was down in units. Right there. It's still in this section. So I'm quitting all that and go back to that Go back. I just changed mine to decimal degrees and metric. So go back to that screen that shows the satellites, and up in the right-hand corner, wow, I'm in decimal degrees, aren't I? And if I hit a page and go to elevation, it's still in feet. What the heck am I doing? Oh, that's because I changed my distance and my velocity. I didn't change my elevation. Duh. So if I go menu, go down to setup, hit enter, go down to units, hit enter. I don't see elevation. Oh, there it is. Elevation and vertical velocity in feet. Hit enter, go down to meters, hit enter.
Per minute or second?
Minutes.
That's meters. That's the vertical speed describes how fast you're going up and down. It really doesn't matter because that what it is. Your elevation is in meters, but your vertical speed is in meters per minute. I've never used vertical speed. It'd be interesting to drop this and find out what my vertical speed is. But I don't see much use for vertical speed. That's how fast you're going up and down. If you're mountain biking, you're on a trampoline, I don't know. Okay, so let's hit quit out of that. And let's see if we get our elevation in meters. We do. How about that? So that's the way to do that changing of your units. Now, let's go ahead and change it back to degrees minutes. You can leave your elevation. Menu, setup.
So now we're changing what?
The position back to degrees and decimal minutes. You see on there that I have degrees, minutes, and decimal seconds. I have Australian grid, the Borneo RSO, the British grid, the bottom is a UTM grid, close to the bottom. UTM, UPS. But for now, let's leave it at degrees and decimal minutes. Okay, so I'm quitting out of that. Now, we're going to do some fun things. Is this fun so far? I think what we're going to do is skip 5 at this point. We'll figure that out at some other point. But we're going to go to 6. No, we're going to go to 4. We're going to go to the map page. And I have one that says map up on the top. Now I've got my position up there, but I've also got a map. And mine is zoomed, if you look in the lower left-hand corner, down to 20 meters. Okay? Let's zoom out. Let's zoom out to like 100 kilometers. So keep hitting the out button like crazy until it gets to 100 kilometers. I'm at 120 kilometers. Holy cow, I see Louisville. So we have Tennessee, we have South Carolina, West Virginia. Let's keep zooming out to 800 kilometers. Wow, there's where I am. Oh, by the way, we're that black triangle. In case you didn't know, that's the black triangle. So you can see where we are. Okay, hit page. Until you get to the map page. Okay, now hit out until it goes to 800 kilometers. So hit it back. Okay, see where we are on there? So it knows where we're at. Okay, now I can zoom in to about 20 meters. Now let's zoom in to about 120 meters. 800 meters. Zoom out to 800 meters. Okay, now we're seeing Knoxville. There's the interstate. There's, of course, the Tennessee River. Do you guys have that on yours?
Yep.
Yeah, 800 meters.
I'm at 500 meters. I can't get up to it.
No, press in. To 800 meters.
I'm at 80 meters.
Okay, I think you're in 80 miles. Yeah. See, I accidentally switched my distance to meters and I didn't switch it back. So you're working in feet and miles. I'm working in meters and kilometers. Okay. So I'm at 800 meters, which should be 250 feet, 2,500 feet. which is about half a mile. I don't know, something like that. But I see the Tennessee River on here. So there are some background maps loaded on here. Okay. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. 500 meters, I'm starting to see streets on here, plus a whole bunch of flags. Those flags are waypoints that have been stored on here previously. I could delete them all if I want to, but somebody it might be important to somebody. Okay, so we can continue to zoom in. Ooh, Auburn's on here. Everybody knows what that is. Okay, and now I'm at 50 meters and I see the streets out here. There's this road.
I don't have any streets.
You have no streets, okay? Who doesn't have any streets at 50 meters? All right, let me show, because some of you do not have a background map. You've got streets, you've got streets, this is some streets.
A railroad track.
Yeah, so your situation is you have a background map loaded on, and you don't, and I do. So I've got streets on mine, and okay, zoom in. Now, the next thing we're going to do, so that's the map page, you can zoom in and out, etc. to find things. We are going to enter a waypoint right here. So the way we do that is not press the man overboard button, but hit the mark button. Mark, and I've got my waypoint already named 003. Okay, remember that for each of yours, because you're going to need to navigate back to that waypoint. And it automatically stores the date and the time at which it was recorded and the location. Mine's storing the elevation too. Okay. Now I can hit OK, which is meaning go to enter, and I've stored that as a waypoint. Hit OK. And if you look at the circle, I see 003 on there. Now you should see your waypoint as a flag. Okay. Now, we're going to put in the treasure. Now, how do we put in, before I move forward, I want to